Hey guys, it's Brittany and today I have a kind of unboxing video for you guys. So this video is brought to you by BeautyForever. BeautyForever sent me 4 bundles of Malaysian curly hair, one in 18 inches, one in 20 inches, and 2 22-inch bundles in an 18-inch closure. This is what the 18-inch closure looks like. They have it in a net. Came in a plastic bag, and this is what the closure looks like. It does have a little faint factory smell, but it's not the worst that I've smelled. It's very soft, and I really like this curl pattern. Very thick, curly curl pattern. They have the bundles in a plastic bag, and they have it wrapped with a rubber band, and this is what the bundle looks like. The one that I'm showing you guys is the 22-inch bundles, but the rest of them look the exact same, but I'm just going to show you one. So has that really pretty curl pattern, and it looks just like the closure, because sometimes when companies send you closures, the closure doesn't really match the rest of the bundles. So it says around like the bundle, virgin human hair, 100% virgin hair, and this is what like the wefts of the wig look like. The wefts of the bundle look like. Hey guys, it's Brittany. I'm gonna be out of the camera because I want to show you guys how I do the hot glue gun method with my wigs. A lot of you wanted to see how I sew the closure on and everything, so I'm going to try to include me sewing the closure on the wig cap and a little bit of me putting the tracks on to the wig cap. Now again, this hair is from BeautyForever. I have 4 bundles of hair. I'll have that all listed in the description box for you guys. So I am using a wig stand and a block head right here. All the information of where you can purchase it will be in the description box as well. This is my first time using this dome cap. This was the only one that I saw when I went to the beauty supply store. So it says make your own wig, and I have it, I think this is a black color, and it was only $2.99. So this is what the cap looks like. It's very stretchy. So I am going to go ahead and put it on to my canvas head. Now the canvas I have is black, but I put these light colored wig caps on there just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit more. And if you see red on there, that was hair dye that I used from a different wig. So I'm just going to place this on the canvas head, and I don't know if they have different sizes for the different caps. So I'm going to make sure like the flat part is in the front, and then kind of the more curved part is in the back to mimic my head. To make sure my cap stays in place, I'm going to use T-pins to secure it. And this is what the T-pins look like. It's very important to use T-pins. That's what they look like. I think you can get them from any like craft store. And I'm just gonna secure it on there. I'm gonna stretch the back down. Stretch it a little bit. Alright, so this is the closure here. I'm actually glad it's a regular closure instead of a frontal. I actually haven't made a frontal wig, but the only kinds of wigs I've made have been with this kind of closure. Guys, so right here I am putting a plastic bag over the canvas head for when I do the hot glue gun method. You have to put some kind of plastic barrier on before you put your dome cap on, just so your dome cap won't stick to your canvas head. And I had already started to sew my closure on, and when I tried to take the cap off, it had gone all the way through. So I took it off, cut it off, and then put the plastic bag on there. So do that before you put your dome cap on there. So now I'm going to sew the closure onto the dome cap. So what I did was I put the closure onto the dome cap with the T-pins, and I stretched it out so it was really nice and flat. And now I'm taking a curved needle. It's best to use curved needles when you are sewing or making a wig because it's a lot easier to work with. And the kind of thread that I'm using is just regular, sewing thread. You can use, weaving thread, but this is all that I had on hand. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the border of the closure, and I'm going through the dome cap with the needle and thread, and then I'm creating like a loop. A loop is going to be created. You go through the loop and you just keep going with the sewing. So if you don't know how to sew, it's not that difficult to do. I'm just kind of making loops all the way around the closure. Just make sure you go through the border of the closure and the dome cap so it sticks to the cap. All right, so now I'm going to start with hot gluing the tracks onto the wig. I'm just going to take one of the bundles, which is the 22-inch bundle, the longest bundle. I always start with I guess you don't have to necessarily, but it kind of makes sense to go with the longest bundle first. So I unraveled the bundle, cut the rubber bands off, and I took a T-pin and stuck it at the very end of one of the tracks, and I pressed it very close to the closure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like, I'm just going to wrap the track around the head just to measure it. And then once I get to the other side where it meets the closure, I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to go back with the hot glue and adhere it to the cap. And I'm going to do this all the way around the head in kind of a curved formation. And when you're spacing out your tracks, when you space them out, it just depends on how much hair you have. You kind of have to play it by ear when it comes to putting your tracks on there. If you have a lot of hair that you're trying to fit in, then you need to leave less space in between your tracks. But if you are trying to stretch out your hair, you're going to have to leave a bigger space with your tracks. So you'll probably see that as I am hot gluing the tracks on there, but I'm just going to be doing the same thing all the way around the wig. I'm going to measure it first, hot glue it on, and then move on to the next row. Okay, at this point, you're going to start to lay your tracks going straight across instead of going in a curve formation. So you're just going to measure out the length of how the track would fit in that area just to go straight across. You're going to cut that track to fit, and then you're going to do a line of hot glue, and you're going to put that track on there. And then you're going to do the line formation of your tracks up until it meets your closure. And make sure the track that meets the closure is pretty flat, just so a hump won't form. Just make sure it's really flat when it touches the closure. Every single line I be thinking about, every single rhyme. When I'm with you, I can see the whole show. Oh, baby, I got a stroke. And I wanna get to you, but I don't want them to know. All right, so I'm finally finished with making the wig. So now I'm taking my wig off of the plastic, and I'm just gonna pull the plastic away from the dome cap. And you'll probably have a little bit of residual plastic from the bag, but this is why you have to have that barrier, just so it won't stick to your canvas head. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take the U part area where the closure is, and we're gonna cut off the dome cap just in that closure area, just so when you apply it to your head and you want it to show the scalp part of the wig, it will be visible and look natural, and it wouldn't be black. So you're just gonna cut that area that was by the closure just so it's visible, and that's pretty much the last step you have to do. Alright guys, it is the next day and I have finished this wig. I did use the hot glue gun method, and I wanted to show you guys that method kind of in detail. So in future videos, when I make a wig, I don't have to put it in the video. I can just tell you guys to go to this particular video to watch how I do the hot glue gun method. So I sewed on the closure and then I glued on the tracks to the wig. This time with making this wig, I stretched the cap down a little bit more on the canvas head, and this wig fits my head like a glove now, but not like too tight, because the wig that I made from her hair company, I made it too small, but it's still wearable. But this one fits really well because I stretched the cap down to give it a roomier fit to my head. And with this wig, I tried to put as many of the bundles in this hair as possible, and I still didn't get to use all 4 of the bundles. So I used 3 bundles in this wig and I have 1 left over, and I tried to find little spots that I could have possibly skipped to add more to it, but I filled this wig to the brim with hair. So the hair texture is absolutely beautiful. This is the kind of curl pattern I want when I have curly wigs. I usually don't get that kind of look with my synthetic wigs, so when I'm wearing synthetic wigs, I typically prefer straight synthetic wigs, wavy synthetic wigs and stuff like that. But curly wigs that are synthetic, to me, tend to be hit or miss. I tend to like curly human hair wigs. So yeah, so initially I put the wig on and I was going to wear it with like the closure and try to blend it and everything, but it did not look realistic and it was looking a little bit too full. So I did bring out my edges and blend it with the wig, and it looks very seamless. It looks very nice. So the edge control that I use is from lovely Brianna. She sent me this a couple months ago, and I showed this in one of my videos a couple months ago, but I used her Lovely Bees edge control, and that's the edge control I've been using for the last 2 months, and it's pretty good. Yeah, so I have gotten shedding with this wig, but that is totally my fault because when I do the hot glue gun method, I always cut my wefts and everything as I go along, but it hasn't been like terrible shedding. And with the hot glue gun method, a lot of people are concerned about how the glue will react when you wash hair or wash your wig. My thing is, I wouldn't get the entire cap saturated with water because tracks will obviously start to come off your cap. I would try to just wash your lace, try to wash the closure part and get as close to the cap as possible. But for me, this is the only method I have ever tried. I've never sewn a entire wig. So some tracks will come up, just let it dry, put it on the mannequin head and reapply them. Now, if you don't want to have to do that, then don't do this method. It's just the most convenient way of making a wig for me, and I don't mind having to go back and hot glue it after I wash it, because really I don't wash my wigs like every single week. I might do it probably twice a month, or whenever it needs to be washed. So yeah, so far this hair is very, very beautiful. I like that I did leave out just a little bit of my edges, and it looks very natural with this wig. This is where the longest bundle falls on me, and this is how it looks. It's very, very full. I think this hair is very pretty. And this is the kind, well, I would actually wear this hair in the summertime too, but it's so full. This would be nice for this time of year as well. It looks so pretty. So right now, this is my initial review, and I just wanted to show you guys how I made the wig. I always say I'm gonna come back and dye it, but I don't know if I want to dye this wig. I just like sometimes just jet black hair. I'll give you guys an update whenever I do have this wig for a month, or about a month, maybe 3 weeks or so. I'll come back and show you how this wig is holding up. I'm actually starting to enjoy making wigs. I was being kind of like lazy and just doing wigs that are pre-made, but it's a lot of room to customize your wig how you want it when you make your own wig. So I'm definitely enjoying it, and you guys will see more do-it-yourself wigs on my channel. I want to thank BeautyForever for sending me this hair to review for you guys, and thank you guys for being so patient, because I am super late on having this video up, but I appreciate you guys having so much patience with me. I want to thank you guys for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. And if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys. Okay, so I wanted to include some pictures from when I wore this hair for my bridal shower. I did decide to wear this hair, and it was absolutely beautiful. But when I wore it this particular day, I put mousse in it, and it kind of made the curls like less, I guess, puffy. It had a more, I guess, more wet look, and I used Got to Be Glued for my edge control, and it worked out really well and looked very natural. Another tip I want to tell you guys is to, if you're using the hot glue gun method, you're going to have some glue that is visible, maybe with some of the tracks. Like my sister said, she could see it. So I would advise you to get some temporary hairspray and then spray the areas where you can see the glue, and that way you won't see the glue at all. It'll be more hidden, and you won't see the glue at all. So definitely try that method out. But overall, this hair is absolutely beautiful. If you're interested, just check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.